Oh, let's take a nice deep breath. This morning, we're calling on the universe within ourselves to do some really deep healing. Very, very deep healing this morning. I'm going to be talking about this today a little bit, but right now there's a trend in the universe. You know, we have these trends, and right now it's about abandonment, and it's about sometimes friends leaving us, and it's about people not understanding us or supporting us, or us not having the wherewithal to feel supportive. So this morning, we're just going to allow that deep healing and knowing that everybody is doing the absolute best they can from where they're at. And we're going to ask the universe within ourselves that for those things that don't serve us or that cause us pain, we let go with love. We let go knowing that everything is absolutely okay. We're okay. Everyone else is okay. We're on this journey. There's no rights, there's no wrongs. Everything, believe it or not, is happening just as it's meant to. And we're just going to appreciate that grace within ourselves this morning, appreciate that wherever other people are at or things are at, we know that divine love surrounds us, is within us, and that's all we are, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. How have you guys been feeling this week? Have you been feeling harmonious? No, sometimes, no, yeah, no, right? I mean, some of us, right? Some of us not. What's going on? Well, you know, life does go on, but so we have trends. I was saying this in the opening prayer. We have some trends in the universe, and they are invitations, deep, deep invitations to our spirit, and they show up as things that like knock us flat, okay? And in those moments, we doubt what we say we've come here to do, right? We doubt, we say, listen, as senior pastor here, sometimes I go, am I making a difference? Am I making any difference in the world at all? You know, people can tell me, yes, you're making a difference, blah, 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 and I'm not downplaying that. I appreciate that. But seriously, there are days I wake up and I think, I am not making a difference. I think you have felt those days too. You know what's interesting is Mother Teresa felt those days. Now, what was even more interesting is that after Mother Teresa died and people saw her journals, they were like, oh my God, she had doubt? What's wrong with her? I'm thinking, come on, there's nothing wrong with her. Have you seen what she's done in the world? And she even doubted at some points, that there was even Jesus, or that there was even a connection. She had those deep doubts, and every one of us have those days. Every one of us have those weeks, and sometimes I wonder if they're not years, but there's trends in the universe. So one of the trends I'm seeing, from 10 o'clock to 10:50 this morning, I had 4 people come up, and here are the things. Friendships have fallen away. The people are not feeling supported by family or friends. People are leaving their lives, right? Yeah, I'm seeing some nodding of heads. Things are falling apart. Welcome to the trend. You are not alone, okay? Now, that doesn't necessarily make you feel better. Doesn't necessarily make you feel better, maybe right now. But I'm telling you, this is a trend. So you are at choice. And here's your choice. For those you are perceiving that they're hurting you, or that they're falling away from you, I'm going to give you a Mother Teresa. Love them anyway. Okay? Everybody is on their path. There's no reason I mean, you know, it's a human thing to feel anger or those sorts of things, that things are happening. But God, either we're all one or we're not. I was thinking about that when I was driving this morning. How am I going to share with you this morning that the biggest call to greatness is for you to remember there is only one in the world, in the universe, anywhere. One. One. Getting really emotional about this morning, all right. It says, something in me, Spirit says, I've got to share this with you. I've got to open your heart, open your mind and your ears. This is huge. It's a huge time to understand this. When the world is at war and everything else is happening, it's a huge time to incorporate this and remember who we are. We are one. But we're having an individual experience. And when that shows up, it shows up as pettiness, it shows up as hurt, it shows up as war, it shows up as a lot of things. If one of us can remember that we're the one, these things can start to come back into balance. So when somebody hurts you this week, love yourself in them, right? Love the divine in them. They don't get any more precious than that. The ones who hurt you, that you perceive hurt you, it doesn't get any more precious than that. That is the most gorgeous gift the universe has given you right now. Great change doesn't always take place when we have the smorgasbord of delicacies, right? Great change takes place when we go, what? You invited me to the buffet and there's nothing there? That's when we start to get our resources together. We start to question what's really going on. What is going on? There's only one thing going on. An invitation for you to experience. You get to choose how you experience it. If you have down days, it's okay. If you have angry days, it's okay. If you have days where you can't stop crying, it's okay. It is okay. Because you're going to have days where you remember, where you can be the light for yourself and others. And that's what the call to greatness is. You know, we have a lot of belief systems. We've been working at Sacred Space Seminary. We just started and we're working on belief systems. And a student asked me the other day, Patricia, is everything a belief system? And I looked at that student and I said, yes. Everything is a belief system. Amazing. Now this could just rock your mind if you can get this. And Kristen, thank you. Wonderful article by Langer. It's on the Sacred Space Creating Our New Home Facebook group. You're invited to join that. It's an amazing study done by Langer. In 1981, she did a study with a group of men, and I had heard about this study. And it's these men that they were in all different stages of health problems. So what they said was they got this place for them for a week, and they turned everything back to 1950s. The music, TV, surroundings, everything. Nothing that wasn't in the 1950s era was allowed in there, because that was the peak of these men's prime. So they said, you know, look, when you have got to carry your stuff to your room, we don't care if that's one shirt at a time, but you're going to do it. Okay. By the end of the week, canes were being thrown away. They were playing touch football, you know, and they were rejuvenated. Now, what happened? What happened, right? They had a belief system, and it informed their body that they were back in 1950. Where is your mind at when you are not feeling well or you're in emotional pain? It's not in the times of that great time in your life, is it? You're so deep in your pain or your physical pain. That's where you're at, and it informs your body. You're having a real experience. I'm not taking that away. I know we've had some major illnesses just in this room, major diseases. I'm not taking the reality of that away. I am saying, however, that the mind informs the body. So, you know, if you go and the doctor tells you this, and this, you're going to believe that. You're going to believe that you need the cane. You're going to believe you're getting older. I say to some of you, there's no such thing as age or time. You know, what's age? That's two numbers. Just stop it, right? Just stop. Why are we so, in fact, in my house, this happened about 6 years ago, I started getting really creeped out by birthdays. I thought, oh my God, I have raised my children to say, and this is mine, okay? I'm not suggesting you do anything different, but I have celebrated them getting older every year. How warped is that? And when Bruce had a certain birthday, I'm just going to say, and there was enough candles for the smoke alarm to go off, because that really did happen.
You haven't seen those calendars that are or candles that are numbered?
Oh, I know.
One or two.
I know.
Really good.
I know. It was at that point that I realized, oh, I'm done. One candle is at what I say. That's when I came into the earth plane. Thank you very much. I'm done. I'm done with the whole belief of aging. I don't know how I'm personally going to get there, but I'm done. And some of you know that I have had illnesses. I don't know how I'm going to get there either. This is part of the student work with me and my work with them. I'm done. You know, I'm not one of those ministers who are going to stand up here and go, look, I'm so holy, you can do this. Look at me, right? But, you know, I do believe Jesus. Jesus says, you know, these things I do, you can do also more. Well, if Jesus can do it, Patricia can do it, Karen can do it, right? Sue can do it. Everybody can do it. It's whether or not we want to, and if we don't, that's okay too. We're eternal. We get chances all through that eternity. It's, you know what? There's no time. It just appears that way. There's no X that marks the spot. You're not going anywhere. You're just experiencing. If you could just allow that to sink into you, so much pressure would come off. There's no expectations in the universe. There's no judgment day. You do that just fine for yourself, right? How many times do we create that hell for ourselves, judging over and over? There's no hell. But, you know, the heaven is within you too. The heaven, your ability to experience that. Now, I was going to do an experiment this morning, and I didn't bring it, but I'm going to set it up for you. I was going to bring in an ice cube in a glass and set it up here and ask you just to watch the ice cube. Well, you know, watch the ice cube and listen to me. No, I was just going to have you look at it periodically. And by the end of service, what we would have noticed was the ice cube has melted, or has melted somewhat, right? You know, this is like, when you really understand this, you cannot believe in death anymore. The ice cube is in a solid form, correct? All right. And water, by the way, water and air in metaphysics means spirit. So by the time that has melted, it's turned to liquid form of spirit. Now, the question to you this morning would have been, did the ice cube die? Anybody think the ice cube died? It's not a trick question. No. Huh?
It transformed.
Yeah, transformed. It changed form, right? Changed form. This right here, I always say, I'm not a noun, I'm a verb. I'm Patricia-ing. I'm not Patricia. Okay? I believe that I'm eternal, so I've had lots of different experiences. This lifetime, I'm Patricia-ing. And there will be a time, perhaps, that Patricia-ing is no longer the verbian I want to do. So I will change form, just like possibly you will change form. That does not mean that we died. Okay? The thing that lives on forever is our consciousness. And our consciousness is about our belief systems. So the things that you deeply believe are the things that you deeply experience. When you can change your belief system, you change your whole experience. You change your whole experience. So, I'm going to give you an example that happened this morning. We have a beautiful new healing room upstairs that we rent on Saturdays and Sundays. It's beautiful, big plate glass window. You can see out over the river, so that way the music team can do their stuff in the morning, and yet we can have the quiet of the healing. So we have people who typically do the healing. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody showed up. Like, oh. So my husband, Bruce, says, I'll do the healing. And so I think I'll do the healing with him. What a great gift. And 2 people we'd never met before showed up. So should we continue to do healing? That's what I asked him this morning. Is what we're doing useful? Should we continue to do healing? And 2 people that we'd never met before showed up. I think we should. I was right on the cusp of a belief system. Right on the cusp of a belief system. And the universe had these 2 beautiful souls show up. That just brought me to my knees. How quickly belief systems, can power us through whatever. When I walked in this morning, like I said, so many people having these experiences. There was so much pain, and I thought, well, I think I might just go back to Hawaii. Right? Because, you don't do this work because you make a lot of money. You do this work because it's your calling. All right? And then I got to work with, most of the people just in a few minutes, and it was so beautiful. And I thought, gosh, I was on the verge of another belief system. Is it worth it? It's worth it. It's worth it if you believe it's worth it. Is the pain worth it? Yeah, it's worth it if you want to believe it's worth it. But, think about this. I think, at a time when everybody believed the world was flat. Can you even imagine that? It's like, heck no, I'm not getting in that boat, right? Because we're going to fall off the edge of the earth, and then what? And then what? And then somebody comes around and says, no, the earth is round. And they're like, can you imagine going from flat to round? You're like, well, I have to burn people or put them to the stake when they come up with new things for us. So now the sun is the center of the solar system. Can you imagine where people had thought their importance were, and then all of a sudden it's not? Those are devastating things. That is enough to bring, authorities together and say, you're done. You're dangerous. The people who have been called to greatness are dangerous. They are dangerous for those who hold the static belief systems. Martin Luther King Jr. was dangerous. Jesus was dangerous. Mother Teresa was dangerous. I'm dangerous, you're dangerous. Because we say, you know what, that belief system doesn't really work for me. Or I'm going to test that belief system. People tell me a lot. Oh, Patricia, you dream too big. I said, you should get inside my head. That's the only thing that comes out of my mouth. You should be inside my head. All right? Why not? Why not dream big? Who's stopping me? Right? Now, we opened Sacred Space full-time January of last year. And we're moving right along. We're getting to a point now where we'll actually be looking, hopefully soon at some other property. And so, things are starting to grow. It's amazing. It's amazing. We have classes here. We do a lot of things. So there's a lot of different revenue that supports that growth. And we appreciate that. We have, I just spent two hours last week with Deborah and Tina Buffalo Boy from Lakota tribe. And they are going to be bringing classes here. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm so excited. We're gifted. Yeah, when I went to Hawaii, it was a couple of things, because I'm going to India in October. And this could have been a little bit problematic because I don't like to fly. And it's a 24-hour plane trip. So it could have been a little problematic. But so the universe gifted me this chance to fly to Hawaii. It was a big plane. I'm sitting there with Bruce. I'm like, oh, are we moving yet? He's like, yeah, my hand's like, and I think, oh my God. And as you know, when those big ones take off, in your stomach, and he goes, you're gonna feel that in your stomach for a while. I'm thinking, and then the rocks and stuff, and you're like, oh man, that's a long way down, because they've got a little thing, 40,000. I was like, I needed to know that? Stop it. But at some point in the trip, I'm like, when did I get to be afraid of flying? I didn't grow up being afraid of flying. And I realized it's when I was in my early 20s, because I'd never flown before, and I'd lost my sight. I was blind, and Bruce and my mom and dad were taking me to San Francisco to a specialist. And we got on a little plane, and my dad, who was an alcoholic, probably drank too much the night before, and he didn't like to fly. So out of the whole plane, he's the only one barfing in a bag, right? And I'm hearing that, and his angst, and all of a sudden, I think that's where my fear of flying came from. Like, because, I can't see, right? And I've never, so it must be scary if my dad, who was this strong person in my head as a child, is falling apart. Interesting. It wasn't until I got on the plane and we were in the air that I remembered that. I'm like, oh, okay. So as we're sitting there, and I'm thinking, wow, they feed us. They got all this stuff. I can people look. This is pretty cool. This is very cool. So by the time we took off to come back, I'm looking out the window. Yeah, that's cool, right? Right? Done with that belief. The other one was vertigo and fear of heights. This is what I'm telling you. The universe will show up to do what actually you need it to do. Needed to be done with that. I had a big old belief system. So Desiree and Matt, because we went over and Bruce took pictures and I did the ceremony, they were going to go to a little beach, and they said, no, that's not the beach. It just doesn't feel right. Oh, okay, so let me tell you about the one that felt right. The one that felt right was 3 miles in this rutted road. You have 3 options. You can hire the locals who have this open like Scout or Jeep. They're all like, right? I'm like, oh. You can walk in. Oh, that's a good option. I have a skirt on, by the way, long skirt. Or Matt had the foresight to get a 4-wheel drive Jeep. Good. Yeah. That seemed pretty good until he got on 3 wheels, right, at one point. Yeah, as we're going down this little ravine, I'm like, oh my God, okay. If I survive this, I'm good. I try to be a real sport. I try to take pictures with my phone to show how terrible that was, right? So we're jumping so much, they all come out blurry. So I thought, okay, I'm good. I'm there. I'm good. All right, so I don't really know what that was, but that was a little vertigo. I made it. All right. And then we're going to have this beautiful ceremony on green sands. Only 3 places in the world where this appears. And it's the peridot, the stone peridot that comes up, and it was out of the cone, and it mixes with the sand. Gorgeous. It's amazing, this green sand. So I say, okay, I'm good to go. I look down. Oh my God, it's way down there. Right? Way down there, and there's no steps. There's like, people have decided to do something in the sandstone that looks like steps. And the little area is only about this wide. It's straight down. Remember, I've got a skirt on? Yeah. And then at the bottom, there's old wooden steps, rickety, that you got to go down backwards. Are you kidding me? And I'm standing at the top thinking, oh, I could walk back 3 miles. I could see if there's any other people that would do this. Maybe Bruce would do it. I just wave from the top. Hitch up my skirt. Bruce is helping me. I'm like, oh God. and I start to get down. I get down on the beach. I'm like, wow. And there was only a few minutes where I thought, I got to go back up. But when I was done with that experience, I didn't have that fear of heights anymore. I realized my balance was so much better. You know, I wondered when I lost my ability to support myself. And I was thinking as I was driving in this morning, and not to blame your parents, but you get it from somewhere, you know. Mom never drove because Mom, you know, had the wherewithal to work, but she had no other wherewithal other than Dad. Dad did everything. So I grew up with this thought that women could only do so much and must have these fears. And I noticed my fears were mimicking my mom's fears. It's very interesting, very empowering. Lost that belief, you know, appreciated the experience. That was an interesting experience to have for 40 plus years, but done with that. And so my invitation to you is, you know, what belief systems do you have? Do you believe that you're limited? Do you believe that you can only make so much money because it has to be, you know, equate to the number of hours? Do you believe that maybe you can't have the love you want in your life because on some level you're not able to give? You're not able to receive? What's your belief system? I'm telling you, there are a lot of belief systems, okay? Think about this. There was a belief system in slavery at one time, right? Not for everybody, but some that it was okay. Now we know, and have known for a long time, that's terrible. That's terrible. But two belief systems are side by side. How would anyone know, who didn't have a reference for any of that, know what's true? I'm telling you, you know what a belief is true by your heart. When you say, oh my God, that doesn't feel good here, or I'm hurting someone else, I'm not uplifting myself, I'm not seeing the divine in someone else, that's a belief system you don't need to have. That's a belief system you should get rid of. That's a belief system that doesn't serve you any longer and you can transcend. We've had a lot of belief systems in our country, in many countries. The belief that war solves things. Okay, can you know, I'm not getting political here, I'm just telling you. Seriously? How does that work? How does killing another person solve anything? You know, there's a Jewish saying, the eye for an eye, and that is really misunderstood. I had a rabbi tell me once, this is so misunderstood. Nothing is equal. What that Jewish saying means is that if I poke you in the eye a certain way, with a certain intent, with a certain instrument, in just a certain place, you would have to do the exact same thing to me for it to be equal. And we know that that usually, rarely, cannot happen. There is no eye for an eye. There is no eye for an eye. The only equality of anything, the only justice in anything, is to stay in our heart. Our call to greatness as individuals, our call to greatness as nations. In fact, you know, I said to someone once, you know, do you think that there are boundaries, country lines in heaven? No. Well, why would there be here? Why do we need them here then? Well, because, you know, this is American, that's Bulgaria. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why we need to, and it comes down to that sort of ownership. All the things that was in the music this morning, you know, that Rebecca sang, that about, and also John Lennon's song. You know, if you have those sections and boundaries within yourself, and then of course it's going to be outpictured here. If you want heaven on earth, you've got to figure out what that's going to look like. It's kindness to each other, kindness to yourself, kindness to your neighbor. What do you need to own? It's already yours, right? That's why we have lack in the world, because somebody thinks they need 100 acres and somebody can't even afford a shack. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying, look, it's where our belief systems are. Jesus says heaven is within you. What's heaven look like? Outpicture it here in your daily life for yourself, for each other. Whatever your experience, it's perfect for you. It really is. There's absolutely nothing wrong going on in your life, but you can choose a different experience. So I'll take a nice deep breath. We're going to go ahead and start into meditation. You can just relax as Rebecca leads us into There Is Only Love. As you close your eyes, just let your whole body relax. Start to feel your shoulders relax, and your neck, and your arms, and your back, and your chest. Just let go. Allow your legs to feel heavy and relaxed. We're going to take a little trip inside this morning. Deep inside your consciousness, there's a place of great peace. Maybe you've pictured it as the other side or heaven, whatever you want to call it. A place where there's no pain, no judgment, only peace and love. I'm asking you to go there now. And as you go there now, notice the difference in your body. Notice that your whole body responds to the heaven within you. Notice that everything you need is always and already within your consciousness. The secret has always been you, and the answer has always been you. Everything else is an adventure, and we know that most adventures are fraught with both joy and pain, victory and danger. This is not a prison sentence. This is your personal adventure. Think about all the adventure movies, all the adventure novels you've read. The Great Quest. And think about the ones who have made it through. The great hero or the heroine. What have they had? They've had a deep belief, a deep faith that they would make it through. But everything they learned along the way brought them to that place where they could stand and say, okay, I understand. I've completed this journey. It wasn't what I thought it would be. I was a little naive starting out, but now I understand. Everything that's happened to me has brought me right where I need to be, has given me every tool I needed to make it through this adventure. You see, gifts sometimes are beautiful, and sometimes they don't feel so beautiful, but they're still a gift. They're still a tool that strengthens you, that enlarges you, that allows you to choose different beliefs. And if that's okay, I'm just going to give you a second to be inside yourself, inside this deep, beautiful place. And go ahead and take a nice deep breath. And just start to gently come back into the room. That's right. And go ahead and open your eyes. So that peacefulness is a choice. You don't need me to do that for you, now that you know how to do that, and you've always known how to do that for yourself. It's taking a moment to honor yourself, even in the midst of the craziness, and saying, where do I want to be? Do I want to be in pain or chaoticness, or do I want to be in this place where I remember I'm on an adventure? I'm the great hero or heroine. And it might look a little bleak right now, but you know, we have seen the adventure movies, right? They make it out. And they make it out in a big way. And they make it out in such a way that we want to read the books, or we want to watch the movies, right? Because we know those are our stories. Those are our soul stories. Bruce, here's the picture of going down there, and you can see over here the cliffs area. It's like, oh, yeah, it's beautiful though. It's absolutely gorgeous. Green Sands Beach on the Big Island, if you ever get a chance. I know that you are just biting at the bit to make it down that big old long cliff. The other thing that I just wanted to make a quick announcement about, I know that Rebecca is, I think you're in speaking with some people, but you know, everybody's always asking us how they could help. So if you have any video uploading experience and stuff like that, you know, helping us getting the videos loaded for the web. I know that, again, Rebecca and Jeremy are in talking, but we always could use some extra hands for our video stuff. So if that's something that is a specialty of yours or you like to do, please talk to Rebecca. And even if there's not a need right now, or Jeremy. Yeah.
Jeremy's our multimedia person.
Okay.
We're looking to expand our media team. I need people for soundboard and people for video editing. It's really simple stuff. If you, all it requires is for the video editing part that you have equipment already. Just need a computer or something, hopefully something you've done before. And for soundboard's pretty easy to teach on for help with that. And I'd prefer a little bit of experience, of course. But no, if you have absolutely none, it's just an extreme desire to learn, let me know.
Thank you. And, you know, Jeremy just rocked it last week. You know, I'd like to give him a big hand. I haven't seen the video yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So, oh, lovely. Okay. So, and Jeremy only had 1 week, and you know, and he's in the ministerial program. So, I just really appreciate it, and I hear that you're just a natural, and I can't wait to see more of you on this stage. I love you too. All right, so I'm just really happy today because our closing song is Alleluia, and I like to dance with that. So if you feel like you want to dance, you know, feel free to do that. So, oh, Steve, did you have something? Oh, okay. All right, let's stand and dance, or to sing Alleluia. All right. My blessing for you this week is question everything, right? Everything, question everything. If it doesn't feel good, if it doesn't make you shine, if it's hurtful, please let that belief system go. There are so many beautiful belief systems. Let that inform your divine being. Let that inform your human self. I love you. Thank you for being here. Let's have some community time.